Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. Arsenal back to winning ways today at Villa Park following the 2-0 defeat to Liverpool on Wednesday, and that top four spot is getting closer and closer, really, when you look at the fixtures and who Arsenal have left to play, specifically West Ham, Man United, Tottenham, and Chelsea as well. It's going to be really difficult. And those games in hand that we have, one on Man United, and well, I guess we're even now with Chelsea having their FA Cup game today. It's really only one way to get ahead and stay ahead, and that's going to be Manchester United, who a lot of people, I think myself included, aren't really putting them up there with the main competitor for Arsenal when it comes to that last Champions League spot. And as much as I hate to say it, it's probably, I mean, Spurs are obviously 6 points behind us at the moment, but if they take 3 points off of us, that Chelsea game is going to be so difficult, man, and so is the United game. I mean, maybe they're not favorites, for top four, but with players like Ronaldo, excuse me, it's just you never know what can happen. And yes, Arsenal have been scoring more goals from open play, and when you look at players like Emil Smith Rowe and Bukayo Saka, even Gabriel Martinelli, who maybe isn't roaring with goals this season. I think he's only got five. Saka and Emil Smith Rowe just 10 in between them, and we're really lacking goals from Lacazette. We don't necessarily have that factor like Ronaldo, like Harry Kane and Son at Tottenham, and I don't want to say it's going to come back and bite us because we made sacrifices in January. We moved out players like Aubameyang, and I think for the greater good, I should turn this Chelsea game off. I just saw them score. Look, my point being that it's going to be difficult, and I think regardless of the fact that at the moment, on paper, we are favorites probably to take the spot. I know people like Jamie Carragher have agreed with that and sort of put Arsenal in that position to finish in that Champions League spot. But it's all going to depend now on how we can how we can play against these top teams in Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, and maybe not top teams in Spurs, but obviously they are a competitor for that Champions League spot. So, yeah, the games in hand are now being played. Just one for West Ham and United, but 6 points ahead of Spurs with 10 games to play really isn't as comfortable as it may seem. The game today, obviously, shock news with Aaron Ramsdale being substituted out and Bernd Leno finding himself starting his first Arsenal game since August, I think. Of course, if you remember back, what seems like forever ago, even a different season, it seems like when we lost those first three games, scored 0, conceded 3 in each game, sitting bottom of the table, and no way you put all of that on Leno, obviously. We were really just such a different team, and it speaks volumes to the coaching staff, to Mikel Arteta, and to the players themselves, the way that we've come together. You saw the celebrations after the final whistle, Gabriel falling on his knees, people going over to Leno, hugging him. I mean, every player seems to be best friends. It's no longer Aubameyang and Lacazette. It's not Ozil and Kolasinac. It's every player on there seems to be best friends with one another. I mean, I saw who was it? I think Bernd Leno and Thomas Partey, or Benjamin White, Thomas Partey hugging, and I mean, I feel like you don't see that often between at least those two, and it just shows you how well this team has molded themselves together. Excuse me. And I have a quote here about, I'm not sure if I pulled it up, about Ramsdale deciding to travel with the team. I think he said, speaking on why he was benched, he said he wasn't comfortable in the last 50 or 60 minutes against Liverpool. He had a proper injury. The minute he found out he couldn't be here to play, he wanted to be here to support Bird, which tells you a lot about things behind the scenes. And of course, all the rumors going around that he lost his number one spot to Ramsdale when he came in. And, Leno, you have to say, has been just a absolute professional about the situation, a lot like Socrates when we knew basically he was on his way out. He kept his head down, he trained, he didn't fuss about. There was no uprising like there was. I hate to say with players like Ozil, with Guendouzi, and just kept his head down and kept going, and even through the injury, even through the COVID. When he was sick and out with COVID, we didn't see his name on the team sheet. He kept his head down, and I'm sure he works hard in training. And Arteta obviously is saying that here. And the celebrations, Ramsdale coming up to him and just congratulating him on the clean sheet, and that was really was an important save in that last minute of the game from Coutinho, who was pretty quiet, you have to say, throughout the entire game. And a lot of people talking about, does Leno come back into the side when we play Southampton next? I believe it's Southampton. I think that's probably taking it a bit too far. Excuse me, it's Crystal Palace, so back against Vieira's side. Yeah, for me, it's a bit too much. I mean, it depends on how Ramsdale feels. I mean, he is in that England squad now. You expect him to go away with England, unless, of course, it is, more of a I guess a worse injury than we think at first. So we'll see that unfold, I guess, in the coming days. But you would expect Ramsdale to come back into the side, and it's just we seem. You can't blame goalkeeping changes on losing or winning a game, and I saw people talking about that before the game, and a lot of us obviously a little bit worried about seeing Leno in the starting 11. I think more so because he hasn't played in so long. Obviously we're out of the cup competitions, and Ramsdale really was playing in those as well. When you look at it, no games in Europe this season, so really not a lot of football for Leno to be playing. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the injury, the COVID sickness, and the last 3 games he played for us, he conceded 9 goals, and so it doesn't do a lot for his confidence. Hopefully now, keeping a clean sheet, and he didn't have a lot to do. You have to say he didn't have too much to do. A little bit shaky, I think, a couple moments in the game. When it came to free kicks, and that's what really worries me the most. He is somewhat indecisive, when it comes to coming out and claiming the ball, and that's something that Arsenal fans, myself included, when we see Ramsdale, between the sticks and it's a free kick, I'm much more confident. And no, he's not perfect. As the season's gone on, you have to say he's maybe been a little bit shaky, but really Ramsdale for me, the better choice for Arsenal going forward. And I think you're going to find not so many people, saying it's the other way around. Excuse me. So yeah, that's that for Leno. Again, really happy for him to come back, get his clean sheet, and the celebrations, the people coming up to Leno, the head rubbing, the cheek slapping, the hugging. It's brilliant to see the way this team is coming together under Arteta. And again, 10 more games to play for Arsenal, and Emile Smith Rowe being interviewed after the game, sort of being asked about next season and being looking for a chance to win the Premier League, and Arteta was talking about in his press conference scoring 90 to 100 goals, and of course goals were somewhat lacking. Again, I touched on that, and Lacazette not really banging them in this season. I mean, 6 goals this season. I think maybe 2 or 3 penalties. 14 games he's gone without a goal in open play, Lacazette, but he's filled in this different role, almost playing as a false 9 and dropping really deep, being the link-up play between the players on the wide parts of the pitch. Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, maybe it's Pepe when he comes on, Emile Smith Rowe also, and allowing Odegaard to find a lot of space. But look, it's obvious we're going to go in the market this summer and at least try to buy 2 strikers and a midfielder. That's the rumors I've been seeing. I have seen nothing else but that. So you would hope that we can do the business this summer when it comes to finding a goal scorer who can maybe bang in 20 goals, 25 goals for us next season. And hopefully that will be a Champions League team, and we'll have a little more pull when it comes to, convincing players to come to Arsenal. And again, Arteta big on saying that he shouldn't have to work too hard to convince players to come here. But, Champions League football, that's the competition players want to be in when it comes to football. There's a lot more to cover here. Mikel Arteta talking about that there being 10 more games to go. We have this feeling that we really want it, speaking about top 4, and I think you can sense it, so we're going to have to go and give it a go, until the end. And, when you saw that performance today. 1-0, scoring a goal in the 30th minute. That goal from Saka was really well taken. He was alert, and he took the goal very well, and we defended well. Gabriel and Benjamin White were fantastic again today. Didn't put a foot wrong. Benjamin White, a lot of questions being asked about him in the beginning of the season, especially that first game when he was sort of bullied by Ivan Toney, in that Brentford game. And I think he's just been fantastic in the air. The clearance, almost a bicycle kick in that first half with a really good ball from John McGinn into Ollie Watkins, and Leno did quick to smother that opportunity. And look, again, Benjamin White, for me, fantastic signing. He's been so brilliant. Deserved that England call-up, so I hope he gets some minutes for England in this international break coming up. Gabriel, of course, also called up to Brazil. Gabriel Martinelli, hopefully it's just a quick illness and he'll be over and he can make his senior debut for the Brazilian international squad. That would be fantastic for him as well. A player really high on confidence. I sure hope it's nothing too serious, just a bit of illness, and he can get over it and hopefully come back in to the side, that will be playing Crystal Palace. Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka today, really solid in that midfield. There was a couple moments that Granit Xhaka on the ball. There was one moment in particular where this little back heel. I don't remember him ever really having the time or maybe the confidence to do that, to have a little back heel. I mean, it was perfect. You don't see that in his game. Obviously, he plays so deep, and really you don't have as much space, I want to say, when you're playing deeper to try something like that. And I think he's relishing in this role, this number 8 role. Of course, I've talked about it before in a lot of my videos since he's sort of moved into that position that Arteta has him. Surely there's better players more natural number 8s to play there. But at the moment, this Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka pivot is working wonders. And, we lost against Liverpool, but look, you're coming up against Fabinho and Thiago, some of the most brilliant midfielders in the world. And again, I'm not going to touch too much on the Liverpool game, but there was plenty of positives to take from that midfield performance, and I thought they were fantastic again today against that Aston Villa midfield. I mean, Buendia, Coutinho, even Douglas Luiz practically unnoticed the entire game. I mean, they were hardly on the ball. Coutinho was sort of suffocated out. Buendia didn't do much other than shoving a couple Arsenal players during the game, and they were really kept quiet. And I think that's a testament to, obviously, the whole back line, Kieran Tierney and Cedric Suarez, who again has been brilliant since coming in to fill in for Tomiyasu. And look, those 5 players defensively have been so key. Thomas Partey really finding himself so comfortable in this team, and finally finding himself back to that sort of Atletico Madrid fitness and that just pure talent that we saw. And that's the player that we now have. And I saw a tweet from Mark Goldbridge that was saying the exact same thing. And I'm seeing tweets from a lot of people, rivals, Man United fans, Chelsea fans, who aren't afraid to praise Arsenal. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I can do it. I have no problem praising other teams for how well they're playing, or how good they're doing on the pitch, and the quality that those teams have. I mean, there's quality everywhere in the Premier League, and there's nothing wrong with giving a little praise to players. I mean, to say Harry Kane's not world class or Son isn't world class is just lying. But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say too much about Tottenham. Look, that's it really for me, guys. I think there's a couple more things to say. I would go and touch on the referee. I thought he was. I mean, I thought he was. It just seemed like, especially the Granit Xhaka yellow card, it just seemed like he was trying to make things fair. I don't know why he was booked. Just seems like a classic example of his name, the name on the back of his shirt. And again, I don't know why he was booked. It wasn't a rash challenge or anything like that. I thought he even got a little bit of the ball. And even the challenge on Tyrone Mings, won the ball and the follow through. It just seems like every referee has a different idea of what a yellow is, and they sort of go by their own rules, which is why it's so frustrating to watch games and to have different referees calling different things. And yeah, every game is different, but it just seems so strange. I thought the referee had a very poor game today, and wasn't able to take control of the game and just seemed to be dishing out yellow cards. I mean, it was the first foul really that jackass. I mean, it was his first foul the whole game, and I'm not even sure it was. Again, I don't know what he did, but let's end it there. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, I do really appreciate that. Please let me know your thoughts on the game and what you think will be the starting 11 when it comes to facing Crystal Palace on April 4th. Your thoughts on this game, you guys can always leave me a comment down below or hit me up on Twitter. It's always in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you when I see you.